The Monster Maker ******** The Monster Maker by Ray Bradbury. Get Gunther. The official orders read. It was to laugh. For Click and Irish were marooned on the pirate's asteroid, their only weapons a single gun and a newsreel camera. Transcriber's note: this text was produced from Planet Stories Spring 1944. Extensive research did not uncover any evidence that the U.S. copyright on this publication was renewed. Suddenly, it was there. There wasn't time to blink or speak or get scared. Click Hathaway's camera was loaded and he stood there listening to it rack-spin film between his fingers. And he knew he was getting a damned sweet picture of everything that was happening. The picture of Marnigan hunched huge over the control console, wrenching levers, jamming studs with freckled fists. And out in the dark of the forepart there was space and a star sprinkling and this meteor coming like blazing fury. Click Hathaway felt the ship move under him like a sensitive animal's skin. And then the meteor hit. It made a spiked fist and knocked the rear jets flat, and the ship spun like a cosmic merry-go-round. There was plenty of noise. Too damned much. Hathaway only knew he was picked up and hurled against a lever bank, and that Marnigan wasn't long in following, swearing loud words. Click remembered hanging on to his camera and gritting to keep holding it. What a sweet shot that had been of the meteor. A sweeter one still of Marnigan beating hell out of the controls and keeping his words to himself until just now. It got quiet. It got so quiet you could almost hear the asteroids rushing up, cold, blue and hard. You could hear your heart kicking a tom-tom between your sick stomach and your empty lungs. Stars, asteroids revolved. Click grabbed Marnigan because he was the nearest thing, and held on. You came hunting for a space raider and you ended up cradled in a slab-sized Irishman's arms, diving at a hunk of metal death. What a fade-out. Irish, he heard himself say. Is this it? Is this what? Yelled Marnigan inside his helmet. Is this where the big producer yells cut? Marnigan fumed. I'll die when I'm damned good and ready. And when I'm ready I'll inform you and you can picture me profile for cosmic films. They both waited, thrust against the ship's side and held by a hand of gravity, listening to each other's breathing hard in the earphones. The ship struck, once. Bouncing, it struck again. It turned end over and stopped. Hathaway felt himself grabbed, he and Marnigan rattled around, human dice in a croupier's cup. The shell of the ship burst, air and energy flung out. Hathaway screamed the air out of his lungs, but his brain was thinking quick, crazy, unimportant things. The best scenes in life never reach film, or an audience. Like this one, damn it. Like this one. His brain spun, racketing like the instantaneous, flicking motions of his camera. Silence came and engulfed all the noise, ate it up and swallowed it. Hathaway shook his head, instinctively grabbed at the camera locked to his mid-belt. There was nothing but stars, twisted wreckage, cold that pierced through his vac suit, and silence. He wriggled out of the wreckage into that silence. He didn't know what he was doing until he found the camera in his fingers as if it had grown there when he was born. He stood there, thinking, well, I'll at least have a few good scenes on film. A hunk of metal teetered, fell with a crash. Marnigan elevated 7 feet of bellowing manhood from the wreck. "Hold it," cracked Hathaway's high voice. Marnigan froze. The camera whirred. Low-angle shot, interplanetary patrolman emerges unscathed from asteroid crack-up. "Swell stuff. I'll get a raise for this." "From the toe of me boot," snarled Marnigan brusquely. Oxen's shoulders flexed inside his vac suit. "I might have died in there, and you nurse in that film contraption." Hathaway felt funny inside, suddenly. "I never thought of that." Marnigan died. "I just took it for granted you'd come through." "You always have." "Funny, but you don't think about dying." "You try not to." Hathaway stared at his gloved hand, but the gloving was so thick and heavy he couldn't tell if it was shaking. Muscles in his bony face went down, pale. "Where are we?" "A million miles from nobody." They stood in the middle of a pocked, time-eroded meteor plain that stretched off, dipping down into silent indigo and a rash of stars. Overhead, the sun poised, black and stars all around it, making it look sick. "If we walk in opposite directions," click Hathaway, "we'd be shaking hands the other side of this rock in 2 hours." Marnigan shook his mop of dusty red hair. "And I promised the boys at Lunar Base this time I'd capture that Gunther lad." His voice stopped and the silence spoke. Hathaway felt his heart pumping slow, hot pumps of blood. "I checked my oxygen, Irish. 60 minutes of breathing left." The silence punctuated that sentence, too. Upon the sharp meteoric rocks Hathaway saw the tangled insides of the radio, the food supply mashed and scattered. They were lucky to have escaped. Or was suffocation a better death? 60 minutes. They stood and looked at one another. "Damn that meteor," said Marnigan, hotly. Hathaway got hold of an idea, remembering something. He said it out, "Somebody tossed that meteor, Irish. I took a picture of it, looked it right in the eye when it rolled at us, and it was poker hot." Space meteors are never hot and glowing. "If it's proof you want, I've got it here, on film." Marnigan winced his freckled square of face. "It's not proof we need now, click. Oxygen. And then food. And then some way back to Earth." Hathaway went on saying his thoughts, "This is Gunther's work. He's here somewhere, probably laughing his guts out at the job he did us. Oh, God, this would make great news release stuff if we ever get back to Earth." I.P.S. Irish Marnigan, temporarily indisposed by a pirate whose dirty face has never been seen, Gunther by name, finally wins through to a triumphant finish. Photographed on the spot, in color, by yours truly, click Hathaway. Cosmic Films, please notice. They started walking, fast, over the pocked, rubbled plain toward a bony ridge of metal. They kept their eyes wide and awake. There wasn't much to see, but it was better than standing still, waiting. Marnigan said, "We're working on margin, and we got nothing to sweat with except your suspicions about this not being an accident. We got 50 minutes to prove you're right. After that, right or wrong, you'll be Cosmic Film's prettiest unmoving, unbreathing genius. But talk all you like, click. It's times like this when we all need words, any words, on our tongues. You got your camera and your scoop. Talk about it." As for me, he twisted his glossy red face. "Keeping alive is me hobby. And this sort of two-bit death I did not order." Click nodded. "Gunther knows how you'd hate dying this way, Irish. It's irony clean through. That's probably why he planned the meteor and the crash this way." Marnigan said nothing, but his thick lips went down at the corners, far down, and the green eyes blazed. They stopped, together. "Oops," Click said. "Hey." Marnigan blinked. "Did you feel that?" Hathaway's body felt feathery, light as a whisper, boneless and limbless, suddenly. "Irish. We lost weight, coming over that ridge." They ran back. "Let's try it again." They tried it. They scowled at each other. The same thing happened. "Gravity should not act this way, Click. Are you telling me? It's man-made." "Better than that, it's Gunther. No wonder we fell so fast, we were dragged down by a supergravity setup." "Gunther did do anything to, did I say anything?" Hathaway leaped backward in reaction. His eyes widened and his hand came up, jabbing. Over a hill ridge swarmed a brew of unbelievable horrors. Progeny from Frankenstein's ark. Immense crimson beasts with numerous legs and gnashing mandibles, brown-black creatures, some tubular and fat, others like thin white poisonous whips slashing along in the air. Fangs caught starlight white on them. Hathaway yelled and ran, Marnigan at his heels, lumbering. Sweat broke cold on his body. The immense things rolled, slithered and squirmed after him. A blast of light. Marnigan, firing his proton gun. Then, in Click's ears, the Irishman's incredulous bellow. The gun didn't hurt the creatures at all. "Irish." Hathaway flung himself over the ridge, slid down an incline toward the mouth of a small cave. "This way, fella." Hathaway made it first, Marnigan bellowing just behind him. "They're too big, they can't get us in here." Click's voice gasped it out, as Marnigan squeezed his 250 pounds beside him. Instinctively, Hathaway added, "Asteroid monsters." "My camera." "What a scene." "Damn your damn camera," yelled Marnigan. "They might come in." "Use your gun." "They got impervious hides." "No use." "Go." And that was a pretty chase, eh, Click. Yeah. Sure. You enjoyed it, every moment of it. I did that. Irish grinned, showing white uneven teeth. Now, what will we be doing with these uninvited guests at our door? Let me think, lots of time, little man. 40 more minutes of air, to be exact. They sat, staring at the monsters for about a minute. Hathaway felt funny about something, didn't know what. Something about these monsters and Gunther, and which one will you be having? Asked Irish, casually. A red one or a blue one? Hathaway laughed nervously. A pink one with yellow ruffles. Good God, now you've got me doing it. Joking in the face of death. Me father taught me, keep laughing and you'll have Irish luck. That didn't please the photographer. I'm an Anglo-Swede, he pointed out. Marnigan shifted uneasily. Here, now. You're doing nothing but sitting, looking like a little boy locked in a bedroom closet, so take me a profile shot of the beasties and myself. Hathaway petted his camera reluctantly. What in hell's the use? All this swell film shot. Nobody'll ever see it. Then retorted Marnigan, we'll develop it for our own benefit, while waiting for the US cavalry to come riding over the hill to our rescue. Hathaway snorted. US cavalry. Marnigan raised his proton gun dramatically. Snap me this pose, he said. I paid your salary to trot along, photographing, we hoped, my capture of Gunther. Now the least you can do is record peace negotiations betwixt me and these pixies. Marnigan wasn't fooling anybody. Hathaway knew the superficial palaver for nothing but a covering over the fast, furious thinking running around in that red-cropped skull. Hathaway played the palaver, too, but his mind was whirring faster than his camera as he spun a picture of Marnigan standing there with a useless gun pointed at the animals. Montage. Marnigan sitting, chatting at the monsters. Marnigan smiling for the camera. Marnigan in profile. Marnigan looking grim, without much effort, for the camera. And then, a close-up of the thrashing death wall that holed them in. Click took them all, those shots, not saying anything. Nobody fooled nobody with this act. Death was near and they had sweaty faces, dry mouths and frozen guts. When Click finished filming, Irish sat down to save oxygen, and used it up arguing about Gunther. Click came back at him, Gunther drew us down here, sure as Ceres. That gravity change we felt back on that ridge, Irish, that proves it. Gunther's short on men. So, what's he do? He builds an asteroid base, and drags ships down. Space war isn't perfect yet, guns don't prime true in space, trajectory is lousy over long distances. So what's the best weapon, which dispenses with losing valuable, rare ships and a small bunch of men? Supergravity and a couple of well-tossed meteors. Saves all around. It's a good front, this damned iron pebble. From it, Gunther strikes unseen, ships simply crash, that's all. A subtle hand, with all aces. Monaghan rumbled. Where is the dirty son, then? He didn't have to appear Irish. He sent them. Hathaway nodded at the beasts. People crashing here die from air lack, no food, or from wounds caused at the crack-up. If they survive all that, the animals tend to them. It all looks like nature was responsible. See how subtle his attack is. Looks like accidental death instead of murder, if the patrol happens to land and finds us. No reason for undue investigation, then. I don't see no base around. Click shrugged. Still doubt it. Okay. Look. He tapped his camera and a spool popped out onto his gloved palm. Holding it up, he stripped it out to its full 20-inch length, held it to the light while it developed, smiling. It was one of his best inventions. Self-developing film. The first light struck film surface, destroyed one chemical, leaving imprints. The second exposure simply hardened, secured the impressions. Quick stuff. Inserting the film tongue into a microviewer in the camera's base, Click handed the whole thing over. Look. Monaghan put the viewer up against the helmet glass, squinted. Ah, Click. Now. This is one lousy film you invented. Ha. It's a strange process. I'll develop my picture and ignore the asteroid monsters complete. What? Hathaway grabbed the camera, gasped, squinted, and gasped again. Pictures in montage, Monaghan sitting down, chatting conversationally with nothing, Monaghan shooting his gun at nothing, Monaghan pretending to be happy in front of nothing. Then, close-up, of nothing. The monsters had failed to image the film. Monaghan was there, his hair like a red banner, his freckled face with the blue eyes bright in it. Maybe, Hathaway said it, loud, Irish. Irish. I think I see a way out of this mess. Here, he elucidated it over and over again to the patrolman. About the film, the beasts, and how the film couldn't be wrong. If the film said the monsters weren't there, they weren't there. Yeah, said Monaghan. But step outside this cave, if my theory is correct I'll do it, unafraid said Click. Monaghan scowled. You sure them beasts don't radiate ultraviolet or infrared or something that won't come out on film? Nuts. Any color we see, the camera sees. We've been fooled. Hey, where you going? Monaghan blocked Hathaway as the smaller man tried pushing past him. Get out of the way, said Hathaway. Monaghan put his big fists on his hips. If anyone is going anywhere, it'll be me does the going. I can't let you do that, Irish. Why not? You'd be going on my say-so. Ain't your say-so good enough for me? Yes. Sure. Of course. I guess, if you say them animals ain't there, that's all I need. Now, stand aside, you film developing flea, and let an Irishman settle their bones. He took an unnecessary hitch in trousers that didn't exist except under an inch of porous metal plate. Your express purpose on this voyage, Hathaway, is taking films to be used by the patrol later for teaching junior patrolmen how to act in tough spots. First-hand education. Poke another spool of film in that contraption and give me profiler scan. This is lesson number 7. Daniel walks into the lion's den. Irish, shut up and load up. Hathaway nervously loaded the film slot, raised it. Ready, click. I guess so, said Hathaway. And remember, think it hard, Irish. Think it hard. There aren't any animals, keep me in focus, lad. All the way, Irish. What do they say? Oh, yeah. Action. Lights. Camera. Marnigan held his gun out in front of him and still smiling took 1, 2, 3, 4 steps out into the outside world. The monsters were waiting for him at the 5th step. Marnigan kept walking. Right out into the middle of them. That was the sweetest shot Hathaway ever took. Marnigan and the monsters. Only now it was only Marnigan. No more monsters. Marnigan smiled a smile broader than his shoulders. Hey, click, look at me. I'm in one piece. Why, hell, the damned things turned tail and ran away. Ran, hell, cried Hathaway, rushing out, his face flushed and animated. They just plain vanished. They were only imaginative figments. And to think we let them hole us in that way, click Hathaway, you coward. Smile when you say that, Irish. Sure, and ain't I always smilin'? Click boy, are them tears in your sweet grey eyes? Damn, swore the photographer, embarrassedly. Why don't they put window wipers in these helmets? I'll take it up with the board, lad. Forget it. I was so blamed glad to see your homely carcass in one hunk, I couldn't help. Look, now, about Gunther. Those animals are part of his setup. Explorers who land here inadvertently are chased back into their ships, forced to take off. Tourists and the like. Nothing suspicious about animals. And if the tourists don't leave, the animals kill them. Sure, now. Those animals can't kill. Think not, Mr. Marnigan. As long as we believed in them they could have frightened us to death, forced us, maybe, to commit suicide. If that isn't being dangerous, the Irishman whistled. But, we've got to move, Irish. We've got 20 minutes of oxygen. In that time we've got to trace those monsters to their source, Gunther's base, fight our way in, and get fresh oxycanisters. Click attached his camera to his mid-belt. Gunther probably thinks we're dead by now. Everyone else is been fooled by his playmates, they never had a chance to disbelieve them. If it hadn't been for you taking them pictures, click, coupled with your damned stubborn attitude about the accident, click stopped and felt his insides turning to water. He shook his head and felt a film slip down over his eyes. He spread his legs out to steady himself, and swayed. I don't think my oxygen is as full as yours. This excitement had me double breathing and I feel sick. Marnigan's homely face grimaced in sympathy. Hold tight, click. The guy that invented these fish bowls didn't provide for a sick stomach. Hold tight, hell, let's move. We've got to find where those animals came from. And the only way to do that is to get the animals to come back. Come back. How? They're waiting, just outside the aura of our thoughts, and if we believe in them again, they'll return. Marnigan didn't like it. Won't they kill us, if they come, if we believe in 'em? Hathaway shook a head that was tons heavy and weary. Not if we believe in them to a certain point. Psychologically they can both be seen and felt. We only want to see them coming at us again. Do we, now? With 20 minutes left, maybe less, all right, click, let's bring 'em back. How do we do it? Hathaway fought against the mist in his eyes. Just think, I will see the monsters again. I will see them again and I will not feel them. Think it over and over. Marnigan's hulk stirred uneasily. And, what if I forget to remember all that? What if I get excited? Hathaway didn't answer. But his eyes told the story by just looking at Irish. Marnigan cursed. All right, lad. Let's have at it. The monsters returned. A soundless deluge of them, pouring over the rubbled horizon, swarming in malevolent anticipation about the two men. This way, Irish. They come from this way. There's a focal point, a sending station for these telepathic brutes. Come on. Hathaway sludged into the pressing tide of color, mouths, contorted faces, silvery fat bodies misting as he plowed through them. Marnigan was making good progress ahead of Hathaway. But he stopped and raised his gun and made quick moves with it. Click. This one here. It's real. He fell back and something struck him down. His immense frame slammed against rock, noiselessly. Hathaway darted forward, flung his body over Marnigan's, covered the helmet glass with his hands, shouting, Marnigan. Get a grip, damn it. It's not real, don't let it force into your mind. It's not real, I tell you. Click. Marnigan's face was a bitter, tortured movement behind glass. Click. He was fighting hard. Sure now. Sure, he smiled. It's only a shanty fake. Keep saying it, Irish. Keep it up. Marnigan's thick lips opened. It's only a fake, he said. And then, irritated, get the hell off me, Hathaway. Let me up to my feet. Hathaway got up, shakily. The air in his helmet smelled stale, and little bubbles danced in his eyes. Irish, you forget the monsters. Let me handle them, I know how. They might fool you again, you might forget. Monaghan showed his teeth. Gah! Let a flea have all the fun. And besides, click, I like to look at them. They're pretty. The outpour of animals came from a low-lying mound a mile farther on. Evidently the telepathic source lay there. They approached it warily. "We'll be taking our chances on guard," hissed Irish. "I'll go ahead, draw their attention, maybe get captured. Then, you show up with your gun." "I haven't got one." "We'll chance it, then. You stick here until I see what's ahead." They probably got scanners out. "Let them see me," and before Hathaway could object, Monaghan walked off. He walked about 500 yards, bent down, applied his fingers to something, heaved up, and there was a door opening in the rock. His voice came back across the distance, into Click's earphones. "A door, an airlock, Click. A tunnel leading down inside." Then, Monaghan dropped into the tunnel, disappearing. Click heard the thud of his feet hitting the metal flooring. Click sucked in his breath, hard and fast. "All right, put 'em up," a new harsh voice cried over a different radio. One of Gunther's guards. 3 shots sizzled out, and Monaghan bellowed. The strange harsh voice said, "That's better. Don't try and pick that gun up now." "Oh, so it's you. I thought Gunther had finished you off. How'd you get past the animals?" Click started running. He switched off his sending audio, kept his receiving on. Monaghan, weaponless. One guard. Click gasped. Things were getting dark. Had to have air. 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 He ran and kept running and listening to Monaghan's lying voice. "I tied them pink elephants of Gunther's in neat alphabetical bundles and stacked them up to dry, your louse," Monaghan said. "But, damn you, they killed my partner before he had a chance." The guard laughed. The airlock door was still wide open when Click reached it, his head swimming darkly, his lungs crammed with pain, fire and hell rockets. He let himself down in, quiet and soft. He didn't have a weapon. He didn't have a weapon. Oh, damn, damn. A tunnel curved, ending in light, and 2 men silhouetted in that yellow glare. Monaghan, backed against a wall, his helmet cracked, air hissing slowly out of it, his face turning blue. And the guard, a proton gun extended stiffly before him, also in a vac suit. The guard had his profile toward Hathaway, his lips twisting. "I think I'll let you stand right there and die," he said quietly. That what Gunther wanted, anyway. A nice sordid death. Hathaway took 3 strides, his hands out in front of him. "Don't move," he snapped. "I've got a weapon stronger than yours. One twitch and I'll blast you and the whole damned wall out from behind you." "Freeze." The guard whirled. He widened his sharp eyes, and reluctantly, dropped his gun to the floor. "Get his gun, Irish." Marnigan made as if to move, crumpled clumsily forward. Hathaway ran in, snatched up the gun, smirked at the guard. "Thanks for posing," he said. "That shot will go down in film history for candid acting." "What? Ah. Keep your place. I've got a real gun now." "Where's the door leading into the base?" The guard moved his head sullenly over his left shoulder. Click was afraid he would show his weak dizziness. He needed air. "Okay. Drag Marnigan with you, open the door and we'll have air. Double time. Double." 10 minutes later, Marnigan and Hathaway, fresh tanks of oxygen on their backs, Marnigan in a fresh bulger and helmet, trust the guard, hid him in a huge trash receptacle. "Where he belongs," observed Irish tersely. They found themselves in a complete inner world, an asteroid nothing more than a honeycomb fortress sliding through the void unchallenged. Perfect front for a raider who had little equipment and was short-handed of men. Gunther simply waited for specific cargo ships to rocket by, pulled them or knocked them down and swarmed over them for cargo. The animals served simply to ensure against suspicion and the swarms of tourists that filled the void these days. Small fry weren't wanted. They were scared off. The telepathic sending station for the animals was a great bank of intricate, glittering machine, through which strips of colored film with images slid into slots and machine mouths that translated them into thought emanations. A damned neat piece of genius. "So here we are, still not much better off than we were," growled Irish. "We haven't a ship or a space radio, and more guards'll turn up any moment. You think we could refocus this doohickey, project the monsters inside the asteroid to fool the pirates themselves? What good would that do?" Hathaway gnawed his lip. "They wouldn't fool the engineers who created them, you nut." Marnigan exhaled disgustedly. "Ah, if only the U.S. cavalry would come riding over the hill, Irish." Hathaway snapped that, his face lighting up. "Irish. The U.S. cavalry it is." His eyes darted over the machines. "Here. Help me. We'll stage everything on the most colossal raid of the century." Marnigan winced. "You breathing oxygen or whiskey?" "There's only one stipulation I make, Irish. I want a complete picture of Marnigan capturing Raiders base. I want a picture of Gunther's face when you do it. Snap it, now, we've got rush work to do." "How good an actor are you?" "That's a silly question. You only have to do 3 things. Walk with your gun out in front of you, firing. That's number 1. Number 2 is to clutch at your heart and fall down dead. Number 3 is to clutch at your side, fall down and twitch on the ground. Is that clear?" Clear as the Coalsack Nebula. An hour later Hathaway trudged down a passageway that led out into a sort of city street inside the asteroid. There were about 6 streets, lined with cube houses in yellow metal, ending near Hathaway in a wide, green-lawned plaza. Hathaway, weaponless, idly carrying his camera in one hand, walked across the plaza as if he owned it. He was heading for a building that was pretentious enough to be Gunther's quarters. He got halfway there when he felt a gun in his back. He didn't resist. They took him straight ahead to his destination and pushed him into a room where Gunther sat. Hathaway looked at him. "So you're Gunther," he said, calmly. The pirate was incredibly old, his bulging forehead stood out over sunken, questioningly dark eyes, and his scrawny body was lost in folds of metal link cloth. He glanced up from a paper file, surprised. Before he could speak, Hathaway said, "Everything's over with, Mr. Gunther. The patrol is in the city now and we're capturing your base. Don't try to fight. We've 1,000 men against your 85. Gunther sat there, blinking at Hathaway, not moving. His thin hands twitched in his lap. "You are bluffing," he said, finally, with a firm directness. "A ship hasn't landed here for an hour. Your ship was the last. 2 people were on it. The last I saw of them they were being pursued to the death by the beasts. One of you escaped, it seemed." "Both. The other guy went after the patrol." "Impossible. I can't respect your opinion, Mr. Gunther." A shouting rose from the plaza. About 50 of Gunther's men, lounging on carved benches during their time off, stirred to their feet and started yelling. Gunther turned slowly to the huge window in one side of his office. He stared hard. The patrol was coming. Across the plaza, marching quietly and decisively, came the patrol. 500 patrolmen in one long, incredible line, carrying paralysis guns with them in their tight hands. Gunther babbled like a child, his voice a shrill dagger in the air. "Get out there, you men. Throw them back. We're outnumbered." Guns flared. But the patrol came on. Gunther's men didn't run, Hathaway had to credit them on that. They took it, standing. Hathaway chuckled inside, deep. What a sweet, sweet shot this was. His camera whirred, clicked and whirred again. Nobody stopped him from filming it. Everything was too wild, hot and angry. Gunther was throwing a fit, still seated at his desk, unable to move because of his fragile, bony legs and their atrophied state. Some of the patrol were killed. Hathaway chuckled again as he saw 3 of the patrolmen clutch at their hearts, crumple, lie on the ground and twitch. God, what photography! Gunther raged, and swept a small pistol from his linked corsary. He fired wildly until Hathaway hit him over the head with a paperweight. Then Hathaway took a picture of Gunther slumped at his desk, the chaos taking place immediately outside his window. The pirates broke and fled, those that were left. A mere handful. And out of the chaos came Monaghan's voice, "Here." One of the patrolmen stopped firing, and ran toward Click and the building. He got inside. "Did you see them run, Click boy?" What an idea! How did we do? Fine, Irish. Fine. So here's Gunther, the Spalpeen. Gunther, the little dried-up pirate, eh? Monaghan whacked Hathaway on the back. I'll have to hand it to you, this is the best plan o' battle ever laid out. And proud I was to fight with such splendid men as these. He gestured toward the plaza. Click laughed with him. You should be proud. 500 patrolmen with hair like red banners flying, with thick Irish brogues and broad shoulders and freckles and blue eyes and a body as tall as your stories. Monaghan roared. I always said, I said, if ever there could be an army of Monaghans, we could lick the whole damn universe. Did you photograph it, Click? I did. Hathaway tapped his camera happily. Ah, then, won't that be a scoop for you, boy? Money from the patrol so they can use the film as instruction in classes and money from Cosmic Films for the newsreel headlines. And what a scene, and what acting! 500 duplicates of Steve Monaghan, broadcast telepathically into the minds of the pirates, walking across a plaza, capturing the whole shebang. How did you like my death scenes? You're a ham. And anyway, 500 duplicates, nothing, said Click. He ripped the film spool from the camera, spread it in the air to develop, inserted it in the microviewer. Have a look, Monaghan looked. Ah, now. Ah, now, he said over and over. There's the plaza, and there's Gunther's men fighting, and then they're turning and running. And what are they running from? One man. Me. Irish Monaghan. Walking all by myself across the lawn, paralyzing them. 1 against 100, and the cowards running from me. Sure, Click. This is better than I thought. I forgot that the film wouldn't register telepathic emanations, the mother Monaghans. It makes it look like I'm a mighty brave man, does it not? It does. Ah, look at me, Hathaway, I'm enjoying every minute of it, I am. Hathaway swatted him on his backside. Look here, you egocentric son of Erin, there's more work to be done. More pirates to be captured. The patrol is still marching around, and someone might be suspicious if they looked too close and saw all that red hair. All right, Click, we'll clean up the rest of them now. We're a combination, we are. I take it all back about your pictures, Click. If you hadn't thought of taking pictures of me and inserting it into those telepath machines, we'd be dead ducks now. Well, here I go. Hathaway stopped him. Hold it. Until I load my camera again. Irish grinned. Hurry it up. Here come 3 guards. They're unarmed. I think I'll handle them with me fists for a change. The gentle art of uppercuts. Are you ready, Hathaway? Ready. Monaghan lifted his big ham fists. The camera whirred. Hathaway chuckled, to himself. What a sweet fade out this was. End of the Project Gutenberg ebook The Monster Maker ******* Updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e. Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg, 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that S/he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1. Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2. Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3. Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116, 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment, including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways, including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the U.S. unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.